Okay, so if you have done some blood work before, you know how expensive blood work are, especially the ones that involve the sex hormones like testosterone, estradiol, DHEA, dihydrotestosterone, especially dihydrotestosterone DHT. You all know what I'm talking about, right? So don't even get me started about DHT because they are too expensive, man, and they cost around like $600 for me. But the thing is, it's not only they are expensive as hell, but also not accurate, as they only show snapshot of your DHT during that exact time. But luckily, there are some good and cheap and sometimes even more reliable ways to test for your testosterone. Okay, what I meant by testosterone really is your net androgen. So this includes all your androgens like testosterone, free testosterone, dihydrotestosterone, and DHEA, androstenedione, all of that, and minus the anti-androgens like SHBG, prolactin, cortisol, and a combination with other hormones that gives a synergistic effect like your dopamine and estradiol, all that stuff, okay? So the only problem is that you won't know the exact problem if it's low. For example, alright, one of the best alternatives is checking your hand grip strength here. So if it's low, then something is a problem here. So you got to dive deeper into the symptoms and see, did I eat enough yesterday? Did I sleep enough? Or was my stress causing this? If your hand grip strength is higher than usual, you can bet your hormones are much better than yesterday. So what are some of the best ways to test for your net androgen status? As mentioned before, the top of the list is always hand grip strength. You can use a hand dynamometer for this, like here. There are so much studies showing this and proving it all over and over again of how it becomes one of the best predictors of your testosterone level. Okay, so next we have VO2 max, and this is the maximum amount of oxygen your body can use during intense exercise. So testosterone stimulates the production of erythropoietin. I don't even know if I pronounce it correctly, but it's short for EPO, okay, which increases, it's the acronym is EPO, which increases the red blood cell count and hemoglobin level. So if your testosterone is high, your body is functioning well, you can bet your VO2 max will be good as well, in the optimal range. Okay. Then we have aggression. If you wake up and you feel that high ambition, that motivation, that aggression, these are huge signs of high testosterone. And that's why I say the symptoms are much more important than the blood work itself. Unfortunately, it can be subjective, of course. High aggression could also mean high cortisol and other things that you don't even know that's causing the problem. So it all comes back down to symptoms, but you got to really analyze, are these symptoms really caused by high testosterone or other factors? Then we have the vertical jump. Okay, so how high your vertical jump is. Okay, this is also an excellent way of measuring your net androgen status. The higher your testosterone, the higher your power output will be, just like your hand grip strength. And next, libido and erections. Okay, again, huge indicators of testosterone. In fact, one of the clearest signs if your testosterone is high or low is that high libido always usually equates to high testosterone, like this Donald Duck here, right? And weak erections and weak libido usually meant for low testosterone. Remember what testosterone is? It is a sex hormone. It is a drive for you to have sex. Remember what testosterone is? It is a sex hormone. It is a drive for you to have sex. And for you to get more sex, okay, testosterone will help with other cofactors, okay? Muscle strength and size and your speed, your power output, your aggression. All of those will lead to what? To you having more sex. That's it. That's what testosterone is. It makes the world go around by you and other men having more sex. Okay, in fact, if you have a desire to cheat or have multiple wives, you know your testosterone is above average. But hey, I don't make the rules here, okay? Next, fasted blood sugar. So this determines your insulin sensitivity, and if you haven't know yet, it is one of the most important, not one of the most, it literally is the best marker for your overall health. If your insulin sensitivity sucks, everything is gonna suck as well, because insulin sensitivity is really the mother of all markers. Make sure that your fasted blood sugar is always on the optimal ranges. This means you are insulin sensitive. And finally, blood pressure. Okay, it's also very important in determining the nitric oxide, stress, and sodium levels. In fact, everyone needs to test them. Okay, you go to clinic, what do you find out first? Your blood pressure, right? They check on your blood pressure first. Okay, it's common sense, guys. Blood pressure, fasted blood sugar, you all can check this at home. And VO2 max, aggression, vertical jump, libido, erections, all of these can be tested at home. Okay, now, so if you are too broke for a blood work, there are 4 simple things you can invest in to look out after your T levels. Now, don't get me wrong. If you can, please, I would recommend do a blood work, especially if you haven't, because that's gonna bring up a lot of data about you, about the specifics of your hormones. But if you are too broke, let's say you're a student, you're only surviving for like $5 a day and your meals are like $4.50 a day, alright, you don't have to do a blood work, but I highly recommend invest in these kind of things. The first is a hand grip dynamometer, as we thought is one of the best ways to predict your testosterone levels. Next, a blood glucose monitor. This is also very important to determine your insulin sensitivity and to check if you are insulin resistant or not, which is the same thing. But next, your blood pressure machine. Okay, of course, as I said, to determine nitric oxide levels and your stress, and also have the time to check and assess your testosterone symptoms. This could be, like I said earlier, your aggression, your drive, your motivation, your libido. All of that plays a role, and you got to be really conscious about it from day to day. It's even better if you make a diary out of it. On the 22nd of April, I'm not feeling so well. Yeah, I don't feel so motivated. On the 23rd of April, hey, today I'm getting better. My libido is rising up. Well, that means something I did on the 22nd is actually good. What is it? Let me take a look. Boom. That's how you measure your testosterone levels over time. Okay? But listen, when I say check and assess, I don't just mean, oh, my libido is low today, that's bad. You should be asking yourself some questions and even log them down in a journal, like I said, having a diary, okay? So some good questions are, did I eat enough? Did I sleep enough? Or was my stress causing this? Have I been physically active or sedentary? Okay, is my training too intense or too light? Is my blood sugar fluctuating excessively throughout the day? How stable are my energy levels? Am I consuming enough healthy fats? Because as we all know, fats are a very important macronutrient for testosterone production. And am I taking any medications or substances that could be lowering my testosterone? Or vitamin D3, am I getting enough sunlight? And am I even dehydrated? Okay, could dehydration be affecting my hormones and performances? All of these plays a role. And also, don't also forget to look into your workouts. Okay, are you getting enough rest between your workouts? Or okay, are you overtraining? It's also a very important marker to consider as well.